Good afternoon. It's almost evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning. Whatever the case may be. Yes, yes, yes. It is another walk and talk examinations. I do not have my sunglasses on today, but I got my headbuds in, so it should sound a little bit better. How you guys doing?
Good, you?
All right. Uh, so I guess some people are complaining about people wanting to get out and exercise and enjoy their neighborhoods and walk and talk at the same time. Well, uh, why do people have to complain about everything that anybody else does? It's like, what's the problem? What's the problem? What's up, John Malin? First, Timotei, watching too much anime for Timotei. Lady Celtic Moon, P Money. What's up, guys? This is me getting a start on my day. Actually, I did work on a page already, and then I had to take Eden to her school to get late senior portraits done. And then after that, I went into comics and stuff and just hung out there for a while, talking to Ed, the owner. Actually did an interview with him and one of the employees, recorded it. I'll probably upload it on Sunday. But yeah, very good. Wow, it is flipping cold. I mean, for San Diego. I don't know. Somebody check what the actual temperature is in San Diego. I'm sure it's like, oh no, it's 60 degrees. Mike on the hunt for some figs. Nope, too late for figs. And no picnic baskets. Complaining is the easiest way to display your superiority. That's interesting. Interesting concept. Yeah, I don't complain. Do I complain? I probably do complain. What am I talking about? La 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 la. Should I go? I think I want to go this way again. Oh wow, that is a crisp coolness to the air, and the sun has gone down, so I can only imagine it's going to get colder before I get home. This is actually going to be short. I think this walk takes me about 40 minutes. And I'm not going to extend it all the way out because I got Friday night auctions at 7. And between the time I get home and then, I have to take a shower and actually do some other stuff. I'll probably be working during the auctions tonight. Yeah, I got to get work done. I got to get some work done. But yeah, boy, this is me trying to get my day started. It's 5 o'clock. How's the Lone Star coin? There is actually, Michael, a Lone Star coin. Do you remember when they did the 50 states coins? Well, one of those is Texas, so you can go and get that one. I don't know if they have I'm sure if it's in mint condition, it's actually got a decent value to it, but it'll be worth at least 25 cents. So might have to do a little digging, but you could probably find some on eBay. Funny one, Mike. What's up, everybody? Just got home from work. Roscoe, I ain't even started working. Okay, again. I did finish page 13. It's the one I was working on last night with, oh my gosh. How you guys doing? How you doing? People out there walking their dogs. Who watched that show last night? That was so funny. JJ's in there first. JJ's in there. Bernie bro. JJ. And then Quinn comes in because we're talking about Bernie. And then because we started talking about racism and all that stuff, Kanan wanted to come in, so it just turned into a great big political racism discussion. No, but it was fun. It's fun because I wasn't trying to debate, right? It was a discussion, and if somebody wanted to make a point, I let them finish their point. And with JJ, I know that means that I can take a nice long break from talking for a while because JJ will just go on. I love him, but we're not going to agree on certain things. Saw a dude named Q on with Doug today. He was good. You should have him on, Mike. I caught like 2 minutes of that. I haven't had time to watch. I haven't even had time to watch stuff today. But yeah, I'll give it a shot. Bright Glory says, it's important to have complicated conversations in comfortable environments. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? It's like we all come from different perspectives. JJ is absolutely apolitical. Dude doesn't know anything about politics. But he likes Bernie because he thinks Bernie is earnest. And he buys all the malarkey about Republicans wanting to sell everybody crap. So he's a real skim the surface of politics kind of guy, low information voter, we would call that, and therefore he's rooting for Bernie and probably voting for Bernie. And then Quinn comes in. Quinn, who has just graduated from college in journalism, so you know he's been well indoctrinated by the leftist higher education system, unless he went, and I doubt he went to some right-wing school. If you didn't go to a particularly, specifically right-wing school, your school has probably indoctrinated you into socialism. And so he's at least coming from it from that educated, I would say indoctrinated, but he would say educated, and we'll differ on that perspective. I'm sure he doesn't know much about actual economics, or he might have been taught Keynesian economics, but probably not Austrian economics, which Keynesian is fantasy and Austrian is reality. So it would be good if you read it. Man, I feel like we just had this conversation when I was walking up this hill last time. But anyways, and then you had Kanan coming in, and Kanan, okay, so Kanan comes in, and you know, Kanan's a believer. He comes at similar issues from a different perspective, and different kind of, not just perspectives, like what you would do, different applications, similar concerns. They all three had similar concerns, which, you know, I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm not black. So I obviously don't have the same personal experiences, the same upbringing. It's funny because I asked JJ, like, because I always say, dude, I'm from California. Nobody gives a damn about race here. I mean, that's, you know, some people do, but mostly nobody does, right? And JJ was talking about his experience in Georgia. Kanan's from, where is Kanan from? It's from the South, I think, somewhere. I don't remember, East Coast. And then Quinn is from the South, Georgia, as well. But then I asked JJ, I was like, so what's your experience been like in California? He's like, and unfortunately, he didn't get to answer the question completely. But he's like, well, actually, it's been really cool. Because nobody here cares. And it would be such a wonderful blessing. I know California has its problems, right? This place is crazy. But as far as racism goes, if we could just sort of export this we don't care mentality across the rest of the country, and everybody just treated each other like human beings, and you didn't have all these negative, I don't know, the idea that you're teaching your kids, or you would teach your kids, that the world is out to get you. I don't know. The one thing that I relate to that about is I'm half Japanese. I was born in the early 70s. And so it was not a good time to be of mixed blood in America. And my dad knew that. I mean, when I was born, we were 6 years off from the 1965 Civil Rights Act, right? Which I believe is when Asian Americans were granted federally the right to vote. I think there were still states in 65 where, weird, right? 64, 65, where Asians didn't have the right to vote or own property. So it's weird to think that that was not all that long ago. But so when I was a kid, one of the reasons my dad didn't want us learning Japanese is because he's like, look, and he told me this when I was younger. He's like, but it didn't end up being the case because we ended up living in California, so nobody cared. But before that, he was like, look, and just so you know, my dad grew up in Iowa, so it's not like he did have a different perspective. He had a Midwestern perspective. But so he said that, I thought that was a dead rat. He didn't want us growing up with accents because we were already going to have a hard time assimilating because we were half Japanese. And this was his sort of Midwestern perception of how the world would treat us. And so that's why he didn't want us, that's part of the reason he didn't want us learning Japanese. But that was never the experience. That was never any kind of a problem. My entire life, I never even thought about I was like, yeah, I'm proud to be Japanese, but I never thought about it in the sense of, oh, are they going to look at me differently? Are they going to think of me differently? Are they going to, whatever. And that was never put upon us, right? Now, is there a reality that there are racist people out there and they're going to tell me to go back to Mexico because they look at me and they know I'm not white, but they just can't figure out that I'm not Mexican? Yeah, I've had that happen to me. And I was like, but that was in Portland. That wasn't in San Diego. Nobody says go back to, or in California. Hey, Nerdette. Pride is a sin, Mike. It is, indeed. The sin that I think most of us, if not all of us, are guilty of. Most racial problems are the result of segregated populations who don't know each other. Yeah, and I mean, people might have complained about busing to desegregate schools, but some of my best friends lived 12 miles away from my school because they were doing the busing thing to try to mix up locations. I don't know if that was, I just knew they were bussed in, right? Santiago, Ralph, those were like two of my best friends growing up in middle school. And it was funny because, dude, when you're a kid and your best friend, one of your best friends lives 12 miles away back in the 80s, you know what you did? You got on your 10-speed and you pedaled your butt 12 miles to go hang out with your friend. There was no, hey, Mom. Well, I was a latchkey kid anyway, so it's like I'd get home and my parents weren't there most of the time. But I wasn't going to be like, hey, Mom, drive me to Ralph's house. No, I got on my bike. I got a map. Remember maps? Big honking pieces of paper. They were like posters, but with maps of everything. Oh, snap. No, this is the right way, I think. Bike, map, what's that? Is that an app? That's how we hung out back in the old days. We didn't jump on the internet and talk to each other over headphones. We got on our bikes. We pedaled our little butts over to our friend's house. We hung out. We left the bikes on the lawn because nobody's going to steal your bike, right? It's funny when I hear people talk about how Stranger Things wasn't what the 80s was like. I'm like, that was exactly what the 80s was like. It's like you got on your bike, you came home when the lights came on. So by the time you got home, it might have already been dark. You know, we did use walkie-talkies to talk to each other. Man, Stranger Things nailed it. I mean, yeah, everybody had Star Wars. Well, all my nerdy friends had Star Wars stuff. Star Wars lunch bags and lunch boxes and all that fun stuff. But how did I get here from there talking? Oh, I don't know. Just the whole racism thing wasn't. My friends were. One of my best friends was Palestinian. We actually argue more now than we ever did then, but that's because of politics, because he hates Israel, and I'm like 100% pro-Israel. But his family came over here. How you doing? His family came over here during, I think, in like 68 or something like that, because he was born here, and he's my age. So yeah, they must have come over here after like the 6-Day War. So he hates the Palestinians because his parents hate the Palestinians. But we never talked about that. He was just like one of my best friends, And I never really thought about his race. He was just Johnny. Big goofball. Johnny's a goofball, by the way. You got Lone Star 1 and 2 plus Monster Hunt for $40 right now. I do not. No, I don't. It's 1 and 2. And then you can get Monster Hunt as an add-on with no additional shipping. I don't think I messed up. I'm totally not scary, but yeah. Nerdette. Thank you, Captain. I didn't run and hide. Chillax. Hee. You can add the extra sign book. I hope I'm going the right way. I think I'm going the right way. Oh, is it something Victor said? Nerdette, in general, it's a good idea to just take everything Victor says with a grain of salt. It seems like I have to explain that to everybody who talks to Victor. Boy, he was saying some stuff that really flipped out Quinn last night. He's like, are you being racist intentionally? And Bianca's here. Man, I gotta get all you guys. I love busting his eyebrows. Muerte! Look at that. The whole crew's here. Right on. Bianca, look, it's my double chin. That'll be your next thumbnail for your next video. We're watching Mike slowly get more and more lost. I think, I know what street I'm on. Yeah, I did go the wrong way. But, that means this is going to be a little bit shorter than I even thought. Actually, that's probably a good thing. Bianca says, I couldn't listen to that liberal guy last night. Which one? I had JJ and Quinn on. Quinn is a left-leaning libertarian, at least from the political poll I took and from what I've heard him say. JJ is a low-information voter. He doesn't know anything about politics. He's just kind of goes with the flow. He's a gay dude. He lives in the gay city, Hillcrest. In San Diego County, there's a gay mecca. And so probably most of his friends lean left, and they probably all agree that Trump is the devil, because I'm pretty sure that's a quote from him last night. But it's because he doesn't know anything about politics. And low information voters tend to vote left because high information voters tend to vote right. Oh wait, how did I get over here? Okay, I know. Never mind. Victor says, I think JJ is right. Victor, another low information voter. Let's ignore violent crime and focus on white collar crime. Are you insane? Yeah, that's insanity. That's gay Mecca is greater than actual Mecca. Yep. Truth. Echo chamber, says Bright Glory. What echo chamber? At least oh, you mean, yeah, I think I'm probably one of, if not the only person who leans heavily right. He seemed fairly bizarre, or befuddled that I'm supporting Trump, even though he knows I'm a right-wing conservative Christian. How long's the campaign running, by the way? That's until I start going to fulfillment, which I am still waiting on coloring, Nerdette. So, still waiting on the colors to get into my grubby little hands. I'm not even telling him to do corrections. I'm just like, just keep going. I will do the corrections. I don't want to slow down your production. So, I don't know why it's taking him so long. It should have been done right now. Quinn showed up with a bucket of troll feed and failed to read the warning signs. It's true. Quinn does enjoy feeding the trolls. It's like, we can just have a conversation here, or you can feed the trolls. Mecca says, gay libertarian voted Trump. That's child talk. Wait until you hear what my libertarians did. I don't understand. Republicans will steal your pension. Democrats will steal your car. Oh, good. Victor prefaces this with, this is gonna sound racist, but and I like a joke, but my brother was bit by a black guy trying to rob him. My brother was bit on the face by, I don't know, maybe he was, I honestly don't even know what race he was. Probably white or white Hispanic or something. That wasn't really the issue. The issue was that he bit my brother on the face when they were fighting. It was my brother's own fault. I told him, my brother knows, Taekwondo, and he did take some Wing Chun too. So honestly, no, actually, this before Wing Chun. I forget. But he can fight standing up. My brother is not a great wrestler, so I'm like, just don't let him take you to the ground. And he took him to the ground and then bit his face. But anyways, old story. Was he trying to rob him? No, I don't know what the fight was about. I'm just going to say it was about a girl, and I'm probably wrong, but I don't care. It was a long time ago. It's like 30, 40 years ago. So 30 years ago. What up, Josh Graydon? Graydon in the house. Bright Glory says, white-collar crime has a huge impact on economic and social progress, though. It basically becomes policy because the perpetrators are part of the ruling class. That's the thing. I don't buy into the ruling class thing. I buy into crony capitalists, right? But the problem with crony capitalists isn't the capitalist. It is the government officials who they are buying off. So if the government officials were not corrupt, crony capitalism wouldn't be a thing, right? If you can't buy off your government official, then they can't change the rules in your favor, which is what crony capitalism is, which I would hope everybody would be against, right? If you're in an equal, even, open, free market playing field, and you have to compete directly against somebody else for the dollars of your customers, paying off the referee so that the playing field is tilted into your favor is wrong. And they pay off people, Republicans, they pay off Democrats, they pay off mostly the establishment. So I don't believe in this ruling class thing unless you're talking about the establishment politicians. and the people who grease their skids. But not every wealthy person is a crony capitalist. It's just not the case. But you can bet that if you have been in government, which does not pay exorbitantly for any length of time, and somehow you have become a multi-millionaire, that person is probably a crony capitalist. That's the enemy. That is the enemy of the people. It's not class. It's not because you're rich, you're bad. Because you're 1%, you're bad. No. I got a friend who's part of the 1%. He's probably part of the 1/10 of 1%. He's done everything by the book. He has not slipped one dime into the pocket of a politician to build his businesses and sell them off to bigger companies. And he's filthy rich. He is not part of the problem. He is not part of some class warfare garbage. That is just socialist envy talk. That's how they get you to pit one part of America against each other. It's envy. The politics of envy is socialism. They have, you don't. If I steal from them, or if I have the government steal from them, they can give to me. That's like when I was talking to JJ last night, and he's like, oh yeah, without Obamacare, I wouldn't have insurance because I couldn't afford it before. And I'm like, with Obamacare, my insurance went up to almost $1,000 a month. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, now is it fair that I have to pay more money so that you can pay less money? I think it may have dawned a little bit in his head that that is fundamentally wrong. That is theft. The redistribution of people's wealth is theft. Unless they decide to do it themselves. And I'm perfectly happy to let people do that themselves. But you know who doesn't? What side of the aisle doesn't donate to charity? The left. It's the left. That has been documented. You guys can go look it up. Conservative people are far, far, far more generous with their own money towards charities. Not just charities, but time, volunteering time, than people of the left. So those who put their money where their mouth is are the people you should respect, instead of the people who try to put my money where their mouth is, or Donald Trump's money where their mouth is. Put your own damn money where your mouth is, please. Wouldn't that make Obamacare mandated charity? But it can't be mandated. You can't mandate charity. Charity is freely given. Charity literally means love, right? If you are literally giving out of love for your fellow human being, that is charity. If somebody is forcing you to pay money so that they can redistribute it to other people, that is not charity. That is functionally theft. Can I put my mouth where your money is, though? No, definitely not. Jay Fairclough says, I back up everything what I say, Mike. I don't know what you're saying. What is that noise? What is the noise? What does the noise sound like? Cars? I am walking, you know. Mecca says, Obama really tricked progressives with health care, but you can't say it loud because Obama is a saint or something. Yeah, I love that I don't know. I like Quinn's. I don't agree with Quinn's opinions on a lot of the stuff. I like Quinn's opinions because they are at least from a place of knowledge. Wrong knowledge, though it may be. Though that may be my opinion on the subject. At least he comes ready for with some information, like he's been paying attention for a while, you know? Kevin says, don't you want to invest in our community? I don't have enough money to invest in any community other than the community that lives in my house. someday, hopefully. I mean, I do invest, quote unquote. No, I give. I don't need to get into what my charities are. I've talked about it before. I don't like talking about my charities. Other than to suggest that other people also find some third world kids to support. It's not that hard. Child Fund International does a great job. So go to Child Fund International, find a kid. You can spend as little as $20-$30 a month, which is less than you pay for coffee probably in a week if you go anywhere like Starbucks or whatever. And you can absolutely change a life. You can change the life of an entire family. This is my suggestion to you. I like Smile, Train, and Ships of Mercy myself. I'm not familiar. I pay taxes in California. I'm already supporting third world kids. Liam has arrived. I saw you in here, Elliot. Dang gummit, so many cars right now. Heck. Get off my street. Quinn is sincere without malice. Yes, he's a good kid. He's just wrong. Hopefully, someday he will be educated away from his indoctrination. It's a weird crunching noise. Oh, my microphone might be hitting my sweatshirt. All right, let me see if I can open my sweatshirt up a little bit. Yo, Elliot. All taxes are functionally theft or extortion. Functionally? Well, but you can't have a government running on, well, what is it? When we first started this country, it was just, was it import taxes and levies and stuff like that funded the government? It was something like that. I can't remember exactly. I should probably go back and research that a little bit more. Yeah, it's getting dark, huh? But yeah, there was no income tax. You like St. Jude's? Hey, St. Jude's is also a great charity. Whiskey tax. Oh, it's because people are coming home from work. That's why there's so bloody many cars. There's no sidewalk on this side of my street, so it's like, I'm gonna get killed. My friend says he gets taxed like $1,000 from every paycheck. Yeah. Yep. That's why it's interesting. If you're self-employed, you have to actually pay the government. They don't just take the money out. That's almost like an easy way to do it, right? So if you have to like actually cut a check to the IRS, you really feel it. I'm dealing with that right now. Please support an Asian family in California today. Please send $25 to Lone Star P.O. Box. It's actually P.O. Box 851, Spring Valley, California, 91976. Feel free to send as much or as little money as you want. I do take cash. It's theft because they don't use it for what they should. They don't. Let's see. We got 34 minutes. Wow, that's a short walk. That's because I took the wrong path up there. I like that walk. That's a steep hill, so it really gets me going. Like early in the walk, gets my blood circulating, gets my heart pumping, and then the rest of the walk, it's kind of up and downhill, but I'm still moving, so my heart's still pumping. So probably the best way to do it, but it is getting dark, so I am going to actually wrap this up. I'm almost home. Thank you, Awful Redneck Gaming, for posting the link to my comic book. Please do that. Elliot, are you coming on the auctions tonight? My brother, if you're still watching, let me know. I'll send some brownies. No food, please. No food unless it's prepackaged and it's gummy bears. Rise of Skywalker quietly crossed $1 billion. Take that, haters. 7 o'clock, hour and a half. Yeah, I'll post that video interview I did at the comic book store. It's very interesting. And I know this is a weird way to phrase it, but I think OG Comicsgate won. They won the battle with Marvel. From what this guy, and this guy, I didn't even mention CG to him. I was just asking him about the specifics of how Marvel is doing, how the books are doing, how the shops are doing, how the sales are going. And it's Marvel listened. They changed. OGCG, you won. I'll post that up on Sunday probably, but we may talk about it tonight. So anyways, God bless you guys. I will see you in an hour and a half. I got to get cleaned up and do some other work. Jerkmonger, I will see you there, bro.